The exhibition Poetry and Performance, the Eastern European Perspective, is questioning literary strategies which transgress literature itself and establish some new hybrid constellation, combining word and gesture, word and action. And it is a research exhibition. It means we are exhibiting not only singular objects like manuscripts, documentation of poetry performances in the form of audio or video recordings, not only scores and photographs and experimental artists, books, objects, body art, combining poetry and performance. Not only all this stuff you can see in Wrocław in this charismatic museum, in vitrines on walls, in different kinds of recordings, but at the same time, what we are exhibiting is the research itself. It's our exploration of the topic, outputs, our point of view. And for each place where the exhibition did take place before Wrocław, for each venue, we decided some specific solution in terms of architecture, in terms of content, and each version of the exhibition is singular and unsimilar to all other versions of the exhibition. It was first time shown in the Slovak city of Žilina already a few years ago, and then in Belgrade, in Serbia, in the underground gallery with a specific atmosphere. The third venue was Zurich. Shedhalle is the name of the institution where the exhibition was shown, and Dresden was the fourth venue, Motorenhalle Dresden. And now in Wrocław, we did find a new solution which is very Polish. We have a lot of authors which have been new also for us, for Sabine Hensken and me, as curators who did start this research a couple of years ago. And working on this topic in this process, we of course did learn a lot, and our work is in this sense collective co-working collaboration process. We are working with experts who do know some part of the material excellently and to help us to comprehend the topic on a comparative global scale, because of course the comparative aspect is absolutely crucial. It's very important for us. And we decided to present not only singular works, but also specific context. What we try to do is to show circumstances and links between authors working on this fragile interface between spoken on written poetic word and a kind of action, gesture, performance. Those practices have been typically done by authors working on the borderline between different art categories. Poetry was, let's say, contaminated by visual arts or by film, photography. We have body art, we have interactive objects. You can see the famous work done by Rima Gerlovina already in 70s in Moscow, where words could be moved in this interactive object. We are working with poetry in film recordings. Here it's a poster of one of films recorded already in 1960s by the Yugoslavian group Oho. And of course, we have audio and even radio recordings where poetry became a kind of phonetic work of art. And we are showing also interventions to the public sphere, to the public space. We are interested in the political activism from the perspective of poetry actions. We are interested in the political aspect of poetry. And many of our heroes were active in the Eastern European underground. Some others did work on the periphery of the state-based cultural system. And what is symptomatic that many of authors from our canon, from our exhibition, have been subversive both in the sense of their creative inventions at the field of art and at the same time as a kind of personification of an alternative understanding of cultural values in the time of socialist dictatorship in Eastern Europe. Today, some of our heroes are a part of a new canon, basically of the national culture in their countries. So, as an example, we can take Eva Partum, which is not only well known in Poland, of course, but his work is also a highlight of the new exhibition of the post-war art in MoMA, Museum of Modern Art in New York. The similar case is Katalin Ladik. Katalin Ladik, who is also famous internationally as well as in Hungary and Vojvodina, Serbia, two cultural contexts she was involved in during decades. After 1989, we can observe a process of canonization also of other representatives of the former underground art scene, inclusively artists who did work intensively with the poetic word and did play a significant role in this context of former unofficial art scene. And we can speak from this perspective about Dmitry Prigov, Mladen Stilinovic. Here you can see his fantastic work titled My Red, where the poet wrote on his own hand with his own blood. And all these artists which are today a part of museum collections of the cultural canon in singular countries. Ladislav Novak is the Czech example. And let's say Andrei Monastyrsky, the example from Russia. All of them are on one hand canonized, but usually their work is presented in the framework of the national cultural history or as a part of the big Eastern European art cosmos in general. What was important for us was a different focus, a strong focus, I would say. We are presenting some 50 artists from some 10 countries, but it is not a kind of encyclopedia approach, just an opposite. It is an outcome of a strong selection. We are searching for persuasive artistic statements at the field of poetry and performance, and we are presenting not singular countries, but what we are interested in are topics, are focuses, and the relation between them. In this sense, it's a first exhibition presenting performative dimension of poetic language, poetic work, poetic practices from this point of view. And one more remark: the exhibition has 6 parts, 6 chapters or sections. They are transnational. They are focuses which which have not to do with the origin of artists, and in each of them, and it's what I would like to underline, we are presenting not only historical material from last decades of 20th century, but also contemporary works. We are asking how today, today artists are reacting to this huge heritage of experimental and unofficial art in Eastern Europe, which strategies are especially attractive for them, how they are working with this huge legacy in our current situation, when new ways of manipulation and instrumentalization of language and through the language are going on, and many artists and poets are producing new strategies to face new kinds of the danger and devaluation of the word. So you can see one representative of this current contemporary approach, Babi Badalov, an artist who was born in Azerbaijan, and today he's a real nomad and nomadic artist working and living between Azerbaijan, Moscow, Paris, London, and all other cities, where he is exhibiting his work. And his position is extreme because he is working with language, on language, and at the same time a little bit outside the language, because he is a native speaker of a dialect spoken in some part of Azerbaijan, and all languages he's working with are foreign languages for him. And it's a situation which is maybe a metaphorical message of the work of the performative poet, who is dealing with any language as with a foreign unknown language.